normally rely on Willem, because Willem being my number 2, as it were. But I was like, well, okay, we should have at least one other person. And I checked with Liam, because Liam's ended up being a regular recently. He said he couldn't do it, and I was like, oh, okay. I wasn't able to do it. I knew Matt wasn't able to do it. Now I've reached panic mode. And it's like, that's the advantage.
And look, you've come to me.
That looks like a death to me, Bob.
Well, he really took one to the head.
And here we are, week 9. And 2 new faces. You've probably heard from Alistair's live streams, but their first appearances on the recap. We have Andy.
Hello.
And we have totally not Ben, Adam.
Yes, hello.
I've already made the mistake once. We'll probably put that in the beginning. Anyway, I'm going to jump straight into it. We've got the Goonies versus Dundee first. This was the game I was commentating on Wednesday, and it certainly was over very quickly. We can say that.
That player is his everything.
Yeah, he is. It's Boris Johnson and Du Bois, isn't it? When it comes to...
Yeah.
I'm waiting for Boris Johnson to die.
Boris Johnson will regen.
Square up to Zuckerberg.
No, don't you dare.
Boris Johnson is the Mark Zuckerberg of this team, definitely.
You'll have a chance, won't you?
Anyway, but first half against Dundee. Anyway, I did question the inducement choices of Chris, because he did have access to getting Morgan Thorpe and Glart Jr. and having so much kill potential might have been a better choice than Skitter Stab or Skitter Blunt Knife, as he was known for this game.
Didn't have a lot of luck, did he? Yeah.
Well, I mean, what's the... Oh, it's a 9+. I mean, it's not that likely.
He had quite a few goes at it, though, if I remember rightly.
Yeah, he sees a couple of times, but every turn he's stabbing and it's not working.
Yes, I won't be trying to stab after I tried Zara.
I mean, stab works against armor value 17, so it worked against the Wood Elves if all the Wood Elves have got Blodge, or the Amazons as well. But if you're getting an extra, getting stabbing Zara against the Amazons, something's gone very wrong with your team.
It's true. I think Zara has like a stake bonus, so she has like a +1 against undead, so it treats them like 7 armor. So it didn't work. It was not. It was not a good idea.
Zara the Slayer, of course, is a parody on Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yes, that is true.
Do love some of the old lore. And it's like,
yeah, they're not afraid of a bit of a parody and puns.
Is he going for another stab?
One of the 2 successful stabs. Well done.
Oh.
It did something.
Oh, it was a stun.
A stun is something. But he does get served.
Looks like he's about to get served. Yeah.
Served for his pleasure. It's like you're not gonna do it. What Chris likes using Skitter Stab to do is pick the ball up in his 1-turn attempts. But of course, if he's not on the pitch, you can't really use that.
Well, he scored a lot of 1-turn attempts this season, hasn't he?
I love his 1-turns.
He's the 1-turn machine with Chris, isn't it? It's just you can't say no to a Underworld 1-turn.
I feel like this was a game that Underworld were never going to do very well in.
this was a league Underworld weren't going to do
Yeah.
well.
Story of his season, unfortunately.
He loves Underworld. He's played them in the tabletop league, and he did very well with them. And
Oh,
he decided to do a vote, I think, in the off season. See, and the winner of the vote got to decide who. He just got to decide what team he would play. And Leon won the vote and said, "Play Underworld." And here we have Dundee.
so we now know who to blame for
For
Chris's abject horror this league. Though I think he's actually got some level ups now, doesn't he?
Yeah, his team slowly get there. He was never going to do well this season, even if he did have a. He wouldn't do even if everyone else was 1000 TV.
Oh.
Because that's just how Underworld do. They don't do well at 1000 TV.
They need the skill.
Oh.
Yeah.
They need.
What a man!
They do need their claws, their heads, their everything's.
I can imagine them being a nightmare once they do get some skills though.
I mean, I thought the goblins, I would like them, but then they look absolutely disgusting with the second head. It just puts me off them. They look filthy.
You're secretly an elf, aren't you? I mean, no, that's just the nobleman in you saying.
That's true, actually.
It's like, what are you doing, vile peasant? Ugh, get away from me! Oh dear. Well, you look at the stats. There's quite a difference there, isn't there?
Yeah, that's quite a telling story, isn't it?
What did you think of Liam's performance? Do you think it was good enough to put him in the shout for the top 4 guys?
Yeah, I mean, he's got a good team. To be honest, it's hard to take too much from this match, isn't it? You know, he had pretty solid control for his 2 touchdowns. Chris is always going to get his one turner in there somewhere, so the score's pretty reasonable. But it's hard to take too much from this match. But I think he's got a solid team there. He's got as good a shot as anyone, and he's in a good position.
Let's have a look at the teams. We're going to look at the Ghoulies first. We can see that a lot of SPP. Strong getting the MVP and 2 removals, meaning that's 9 SPP, putting them on a touchdown away from a level up. If that Flesh Golem scores a touchdown to get the level up, I will eat my hat.
He deserves his level up if he gets a touchdown on there.
Yeah, I wouldn't bet so freely. I mean, you know, all you need is like a random 6 catch being near the ball, and you can get it.
I mean, yeah, I suppose so, but no, I don't think he'll score with it. I think obviously he wants to get more removals with Sajid Javid, get another level up here. Anything else interesting with the team? Not much else, but yeah, no level ups for them. But let's have a look at Dundee.
He's a bit light on players, isn't he? I seem to remember him having more than 11.
He might do, but we won't check with the team in a second. But this is just the level ups. To the SPP report. And if we have a look at this team, Nugget getting the touchdown, Breakfast getting killed. Didn't even notice because, you know, who cares about Lineman Goblin dying?
Probably a fresh breakfast this much anyway.
Neville gets the level up from the MVP. Well, this is going to be interesting. I think it was a double, wasn't it? So we'll have a discussion on that, shall we? This team, consider this team. What would you go for a double? Considering you have General and Mutation on a normal, everything else on the double.
I don't know.
I've been making use of some edge skills somewhere. Maybe some. What do they have? Just Stunty to start with?
Yeah. Well, no, this is the lineman. The lineman here. The lineman.
Oh, sorry, the lineman. Maybe a strength skill then. Maybe would he use some something to keep him in the line, block or guard? Or...
Guard, yeah. I agree with the guard choice personally. Because of course you use one. I would make. If I had this team, I'd make Mick a guard, then stand firm blitzer, and then sack Walter and get the next blitzer in, and get that guy Mighty Blow Claw piling on double, get jump up. So you've got your killer blitzer and you've got your guard blitzer, and then these 2 just wrestle, block, guard, whatnot.
That's true. I mean, he could make an early start, give him Mighty Blow, in hoping to give him eventually block, and then.
But yeah, let's have a look at the teams. Here we have the Underworld team. Looks as strong as ever. Very scary. Very icky. Boris Johnson being a bit of an SPP whore. Less so than he used to be.
Nothing wrong with that.
Less than he used to be. But he's still
spread it around a bit.
He is still, as Andy coined earlier, the Mark Zuckerberg of this team.
He needs to die. I killed him in my game, but he regened.
Oh, what a damn shame it is. Anyway, hopefully we don't need to come back to the Blood Bowl thing during the rest of the recording, but
He's down to only 11. That's not that many.
He only had
I
11
think-
against me as well. I think he's just trying to keep it a bit lean at the moment.
I think
I
a
mean, with
couple
that
of his
regen, he's
players
getting away with it.
died. I know that he stole Donald Trump for me, and then Donald Trump died again. He
I'll
died
tell you what.
twice.
The Donald Trump thing is just he always ended up with a player called Donald Trump, and he didn't even try for that one. Well, what do you think about this team? What we got with
So he went with Neville, wasn't it? Was the level
Neville
up?
got the line out, got guard, sensible choice.
Yeah.
To be fair, I did egg him on saying get guard. He hasn't. He hasn't upgraded replaced Walter yet, and
What's he like for funds? No, he's a bit light, isn't he?
What's he spent his money on? Probably replacing his. Yeah, we got a new breakfast.
Yeah, he had some dead players to worry about first, didn't he?
A new breakfast, yes.
Third breakfast.
Second breakfast, yeah.
No, I think
He needs to keep
breakfast.
track.
Yeah, he needs to
He needs a
number.
number, yeah. I want an
Breakfast
Amazon
before.
delivery driver number 4.
Yeah, I mean, goblins are like your peasants. It's just they die a lot. Who cares? Who cares when an unleveled peasant gets an unleveled lineman gets killed?
Exactly, they're just a filthy peasant.
People thought I did think extra arms was a bit of a weird choice, but I understand it now. It's for the vanity passes. But yeah, it did make it was a bit dubious in my opinion when I first saw it.
Wouldn't like big hands maybe be better?
Yeah, that's
so
what I was
that he
thinking. Big hand, but it's a better choice. Or 2 heads, because generally you're running with
I
your.
think go with one then.
So, yeah. Anyway, let's jump on to back to the. This one was. I'm gonna stroke my ego. I'm not gonna say anything. I hope you guys watched the game.
I have not, so this recap will be my only knowledge of the game.
I saw bits of it. I had to dip in and out because I was on a train, but I think you got a bit of a lucky break at the start with the pitch invasion.
Yeah, the pitch invasion. I felt a bit lucky, but he knocked down.
Oh, is that why there's so many players on the ground?
Yeah.
Started with 5 stuns, I think, and to none.
12 stuns versus none because I had the fame, but Dirty Player does its job, and this game was recorded just after the Underworld game, which is why you can see that. Now, Matt tries to go for a pass. He's in scoring position, but he doesn't score because he ran out of time. And
Well, that is tragic, but it teaches a harsh lesson of moving a bit quicker, I guess.
it is a harsh lesson.
That is brutally unfair.
Which is brutal, and to be fair, funny enough, it was an Amazon delivery driver that knocked the door that delayed him, and he flailed a bit.
You can pause, can't you?
He can pause, but he didn't. And with 10 seconds, but he wasn't that. To my understanding, it was he was to type a message before scoring, and then the Amazon delivery driver, so he panicked for a second, and then something like that.
So wait, was he going to taunt you?
No, he's just going to send me a message. I don't know. It sounded like he was going to send me a message when he's. But I don't know.
That he's been hoisted by his own petard, hasn't he?
Yeah. I only have a chat on defense.
That might be wrong. So that might be
time
wrong.
on my turns.
To be fair, considering the scoreline, I don't know if it would have made an overwhelming difference.
Right, Matt's been to the playoffs before with elf teams. Dark elves, in my opinion, are the least elfy of the elves because they're so slow. And
He has struggled with it this season, hasn't he? I think he had a bit of a tough start with a few bashy teams, but he's had quite a tough run.
They have had a rough ride, haven't they?
I mean, so did I. I mean, I started with you, Andy, and you didn't.
Fair.
Look at you just running through the team as if it's not there.
Yeah. The number of skills pop-ups on that.
Don't worry, half of the skills were two-headed stunty, which I don't actually have. But yeah, Matt does get one
I'm
back.
just making it out, but the stream's a little jittery on this one, so I'm just seeing like the occasional skill pop up of like 6 dodges.
Yeah, oh dear.
Oh yeah, stunty 2 heads, just all sorts going on.
Yeah, there's all sorts of weird skills that are supposedly showing up, and it's like, well, that's a bit weird.
How long have you had a treatment?
Yeah, I didn't have a treatment at the start of the season, but it used an experimental treatment and it seems to be doing okay. I feel
It's always
kind of,
fun to get the big guys.
it's a bit embarrassing that he's doing well though, because unfortunately I convinced Dan last season to join me in the anti-treatment ways, because I'm not even pro-treatment yet. It's an experimental treatment, but it's been doing well at the moment.
I can't believe you managed to convince Dan of that. That's madness.
What, that treatment were bad?
I'll tell you what, a team I might be taking next is Skaven, and I'm going to bring a Rat Ogre. That or it's Kislev, and I'm bringing a bear.
When it comes to Skaven, we'll talk about Skaven later, but when we come to Alice's game, but there isn't two schools when it comes to it. There is not two schools of thought when it comes to it. There is one school of thought when it comes to Skaven at the moment.
There's the right way, and then there's the fun way.
I suppose, yes, right. There is always the fun way. But
Was there a mismatch of players here?
Oh
Or
no, a Snake Eyes.
the rest of the team's just upfield. He wasn't missing any players. He was at a full roster. We're both at full roster.
What gave you such a clear advantage there?
Wood Elf being Wood Elf.
Right, just doing their thing.
Here we have Brown Eyes the Blood versus Brown Eyes the Stains, the shit, the poop. Give me a word that's brown. Never mind then.
Yeah.
You're leading me down a path I can't.
Brown hides the sticks. Yeah, I know. So yeah, we can see I'm out bashing the Dark Elves. I'm breaking more armor than Dark Elves.
One thing they should be better at.
Yeah.
Notably, the armor breaks are interesting because one of them is a serf. So he only broke my armor twice on the field, according to that.
So the serfs show up in the armor breaks, do they?
The serf is considered an armor break because what it says in the rules say when you serf a player, you automatically break armor. Not you roll on the injury table, you automatically break armor, which is a weird phrasing.
So if you serf someone with a POW, do you still get a shot at the casualty SVP, or is it just that goes out the window and it's just the crowd?
Just the crowd.
Did Matt not have very much tackle?
No.
I feel like that is what undid him.
Well,
because if you're standing your ground and punching Dark Elves and coming off better, it's a bit surprising.
Well, you got the Dark Elves are the only players that had the tackle were Witch Elves, and I think only one of them had tackle. But yeah,
it's a decisive one.
It's a decisive tackle. Let's have a look at the players that got level ups. We got Frank, who was the rookie lineman, got a level up. Donald also scored a touchdown. He got a level up as well. Let's look at the Fun Boys. Yes, only one tackle on the entire team.
Yeah, I can see why it was difficult.
Tough against Wood Elves, yeah.
And the assassin that did bugger all. 0.
Well, actually, we didn't see a stab, did we?
We didn't even see a single stab.
Did he try?
He might have. I can't remember. No, he definitely tried. He just failed. He just kept rolling double ones. Whenever he activated the assassin, the next roll would be a 1.
Fantastic.
We got block on Frank, and we got kick on Donald. That might raise a few eyebrows with kick, but there's one person might know why I've done that, and that will probably be Andy when I play him in the semi-finals or even the final.
Yeah, you give you a lot more pitch control with kick. I've got it on my pro elves, and it's surprising what you can do if you can break the line quickly.
Yeah,
I feel like every team needs a kick, and that is foreshadowing for a few moments away heavily.
Yeah. Now let's look at the Dark Elves, and we can see looking as infamous as ever. Obviously, this team. I feel like this team hasn't lost any players, hasn't gained any players.
There's any change at all, is there?
No changes at all.
No, I don't think they leveled up.
No. 100k in the kitty, so maybe we'll see an upgraded stadium if we're lucky. But yeah.
He's in a good position. He can really. I don't know who he's got left, but he can. He's definitely in the mix.
Well,
Yeah, I think he's one of the people who are sort of in the middle top kind of area,
That fight.
who could still claw their way back.
That
Got a feeling he's
classic fight for
close.
4th place that we have every season.
Yeah.
Yes, Dan has been talking to me about his fight for 4th place.
Got it all mapped out, is he?
No, I
reckon-
think not.
We could see. It could be interesting. What else happens in the fight for 4th place? There's a lot of teams that got to face each other. Anyway, we jump back to the main menu. We're going to go to the 3rd game, which is the Claws versus the Vermin.
I'm going to highlight that this was. I only watched it for the recap, and it was a bit of a tragedy.
Skaven we'll probably do Skaven things. We'll probably see a 1-turn touchdown. What else will we see? And Andy, have you watched this game yet?
I'll never tell.
I haven't seen this one, no.
What else do you reckon
think
we'll see?
Sorry?
Well, I reckon we'll see a Skaven 1-turn touchdown. What else do you reckon we'll see?
Probably just a lot of Skaven disappearing to the sidelines.
I like that generally.
Yeah. No, I
Yeah.
think. Yeah, it's undoubtedly a 1-turn touchdown. Is one every game.
Mm.
It's as likely as a 1-turner from the
Ooh.
Underworld.
Cheeky delay.
He's just
Did he not
basically
do
he
it?
just stalls there for a
Cheeky
period of
stall.
time. So there's not much to show. I was just showing him stalling and then running around like a true rat at the bottom.
A little peek behind the curtain. If a game looks like it's gonna be boring, a la Dwarfs, and it's most of it's just gonna be pushing upfield, you just blot it out with lots of mighty blow hits or
Thanks.
injuries.
Eventually, he just kind of decides that he's taking too many injuries. Particularly, I'd like to highlight he loses his player with kick, his lineman with kick, and then immediately catches the ball on the front line with a Chaos Warrior.
How cruel is that? Oh, when it comes to Alistair, there's when it comes to Alistair, the Skaven linemen don't get reroll privileges ever. I've not seen him Apo a Skaven lineman in this season, last season.
Well, it's
Usually
completely in hindsight that that injury is the most important injury of the game, as you will have seen and will continue to see.
Lightning Squeak's dead.
I cut it out to dangle it because he didn't die.
Okay.
He
Well,
didn't
yeah,
die. I know that he nearly died in his last game as well.
So did you put up over that out, did
Yeah, you can see that there's no dead symbol on the side. So
you? Yeah, yeah.
that's quite the mess he's got over there, isn't it?
Wow.
Oh, cheeky little chain push. Nothing important. I see.
I mean, I think it was pretty simple. It was just just advance. There wasn't anything he could really do to stop him because the ball was right there at the front.
Ooh, another kick.
And then another catch on a Beastman on the front line again.
Right on the front line both times.
Blimey. Oh, zap.
So this is his real chance
This-
in the
Oh, that's a good lightning bolt.
to recover here. But he
Ooh.
does this peculiar move where he hits this unnecessary Beastman and then re-rolls it. I don't know why he did that, to be honest.
I'm not sure either. Alistair, tell us in the comments why he did that.
Because he needed it now.
Now you need that reroll.
Where he
yeah.
fails the... I mean, it was a very favourable bounce to be in 3 tackle zones, but...
No, there was still like a better than 25% chance of being in 2 tackle zones as well, so...
Well, obviously that's in hindsight, but still. Then there really isn't that much to show. He just kind of goes forward again and can't be stopped, actually. Though he does this madness.
Dauntless succeeds.
Oh.
Dauntless wrestle. He sat the ball. Come on. Then he snakes.
He does.
Oh,
Snake.
man.
Just roll badly.
Rob getting away with it there. Cheeky handoff. Yeah, here we are. He might have been able to delay there, but he might have been spooked by the Dauntless working in the previous turn.
I mean, Alistair was dangerous throughout. He gets a quick snap to help his one-turn attempt. Because, of course.
Of course. I mean, let's see what we've got. I'm assuming he's going to gut a runner on the side.
Exactly.
He's
Yeah,
gonna
he's
quit.
just going to...
Come
I
on.
think he could have stalled here, to be honest.
Yeah, it's still not a clear run, is it?
He stalled his way in the first half. I think he might have been better served trying to delay around there.
He could have probably delayed a turn. Obviously, with the power of hindsight, we know the final score. But yeah, he could have delayed a turn there.
And what is the last kick? That's right. It's a touchback. So every kick attempt, it's either caught on the front line by a player or touchback and given. So it really made Rob just be able to roll out and just push him over.
Wow.
All the delaying doesn't matter if you just have it. So
Rob shows
Yeah,
no,
but
Rob
probably
showed no mercy.
no, he just there isn't much left in it. It's just him being brutalized, really.
Sorry, Andy, what were you going to say?
Well, I was going to say the hardest thing the Chaos have got to do really is pick the ball up, isn't it? You know.
No need to in this game.
It just wasn't applicable. Yeah, just Dicey didn't have to roll.
Alice, it keeps trying, but there's only so much you can do.
When Skaven start losing their gutter runners, you know it's going to be game over. Yeah,
It
losing the...
starts to snowball then, doesn't it? You know, as soon as they get a couple of removals, it just snowballs. I found that with them. I guess the removals come thick and fast soon after.
Oof, that's a good 3 dice. If only that was the wrestle piece.
I mean, there's nothing else for him to do other than the desperate play.
Gotta try it, yeah.
And at the very end, there is still a chance of the 1 turn, but I can't help but laugh when a Skaven 1 turn fails.
I know, I felt bad for the Skaven at this game.
I am feeling more and more sad because they can't score this. They can still score this 1 turn.
Yeah, I mean, there's very few players takes a rock to add insult to injury.
It isn't like he hasn't got a reroll. Now look at this. Look at that block.
65 blocks.
Look at that. Oof. There's no fend, so there's nothing shifting that up by accident.
There wasn't really. I mean, Rob played well, but I felt like there wasn't anything Alistair could really do because he did stall, but again, those kickoffs made it so that Rob could just kind of go, yes, I will just score now because I didn't have to pick up the ball or
All the time in
pass.
the world.
Yeah. It really did hurt him. So that is why I bring specific attention to losing the player with kick. That completely undoes the game, as it turns out.
Yeah. What do you think of the claws, Andy?
Think of Rob's claws.
Yeah.
They're just such a solid team. You know, they're all pretty well developed. There's some real threats in there. They're just there's no real sort of standout, no obvious thing, but they just don't have many weaknesses either. You know.
Yeah, they are adolescent chaos. They're full grown, scary claw piling on, mighty blow on everyone. Chaos.
Yeah, there's enough block, which is their early thing, and then some claws and horns and all the rest of it that just makes them a bit of a threat across the field. You know.
Well, they become the dwarf nightmare.
Yeah, well, yeah, the amount of claw he had on there was certainly a worry for me. I think I got lucky and got one of them off early, but
yeah, let's go look at the team now. We've got Leslie. We've got any level ups with claws, and Tari's gets a level up. Now, if that's not claw, I'll be very surprised. Having ourselves a killer beastman will obviously be nice.
Doesn't he already have one though in Vega? Yeah, he does.
He does,
yeah,
but that one's got
okay,
tackle as well. That one's going to get claw,
Yeah,
and they're both
I mean,
gonna
you
get
can always have
melee.
2. Why not? I mean, he has a lot of beastmen.
Yeah, you have a lot of beastmen. He hasn't got sap. This one's going to be a sapper. That one's going to be a killer. That's probably going to be a ball handler, if anything. Or one of these 3 is going to be a ball handler. Oh no, there's the ball handler. I missed him. But yeah, standard. It's quite standard chaos, apart from diving tackle, which was an inspired choice from he stole from a Twitch streamer. Anyway, now looking at the vermin, we've got no level ups at all. We've got 3 SPP on Scry, 6 on Fit In the Quick. Where did the 3 SPP come from? Was that 3 passes?
Passes, yeah.
Yeah, no, there was quite a few passes, wasn't there?
That's his picker-upper.
Violent Vinny's got a miss next game and a niggle, so I suspect we'll see that one get sacked. Yeah, well, the 180k in the bank, I suspect we'll see a sack in there. Alternatively, we'll see a Rat Ogre come into play.
Oh, I spoke to him about it in the commentary, and he seemed reluctant to take the plunge towards the Rat Ogre. I tried to justify the Rat Ogre, but well.
Well, this team can do the idea is the Rat Ogre is only useful until you've got a Claw Mighty Blow piling on piece. Because
it still can block up an area, right? It can still distract attention away from your gutter runners, because the other player is going to perhaps try and bring forces in to deal with the Rat Ogre while you run around.
Defenders in the big guys, don't they? Yeah.
But yeah, let's go look at the teams, because I've already checked this one. The claws, we can actually look at the claws when it finally shows up. There we are. So, what we got? We have went and gone and got claw. What a surprise!
Of course, yeah. I can't think with the way that's built. What else would be a good choice on there?
He's got 2 tackles, so he's prepped to deal with any dodge teams in the playoffs. He's got the claws, so he's got the ability to deal with bash in the playoffs. He's got a lot of mighty blow. It's quite a scary team you've got there.
Yeah, especially the strength agi player. I'm not sure why he gave him sure hands, though, to be honest.
Because that's an obvious ball carrier you got there. Strength 4 ball carrier is very hard to knock down.
That's true, but you don't really need the sure hands to pick up the ball unless you're worried about strip ball.
Could be strip ball if it's a carry, or it's 2+ for the reroll. It's just not, it becomes a guaranteed thing. He doesn't have to think about it, or as good as.
Yeah, looking at the rats, they're looking very thin on the ground, aren't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they've only got the gutter runners left. That's it.
Yeah, and a very average storm vermin.
Let's jump into the next game of the week, which was the Bellbusters versus the IDF. You had a chance to watch this one, Ben.
I mean, I don't think any of this is a particularly surprising game, though there is a few exciting moments.
I also called you Ben again. Great.
There's a lot of tackle, which is going to be difficult for the Amazons.
Yeah, basically. I mean, there were a lot of stuns, and I know Dan hates when the injury rolls fail him, and he starts off with a stun and a send-off.
That's a poor trade-off.
Yeah, you don't like to see it.
I mean, Ben just sets up this relatively strong defense, can't push forward because of stand firm, and just kind of gets punched.
Chorfs is the second worst matchup for Amazons.
Oh, in this moment, Ben stood up his player, forgot he stood him up, fireballed, and ended his turn.
I was watching this game, yeah. It was quite a sad thing. Because obviously he probably instantly was like, right, I'm not leaving this player, let's stand him up. And then we're like, right, it's my turn, what should I do?
I just wanted to highlight quite how many stuns there were, so I just played loads. But there is an injury. I'd like to highlight that injury is on a player that has a niggling, but had 2 niggling injuries already. They have 3 smashed knees.
Yeah, that player needs to get sacked. I suspect, obviously, you did mention to me before is that you had a bit of help with from Ben when you were doing from Ben when you're doing the aims. So obviously, maybe he helped you out with this game when you were seeing when you're getting all those stuns.
Yes, maybe.
It's just claw, does nothing, but tackle.
I mean, Ben got that attempt there, and it did work. But then Dan just picks up the ball, tries to get on the 1 dice. Unfortunately for him, the dodges weren't really there either, so he couldn't really just get away. Apart from that,
It's not the easiest of places to get out, but I can see the surf inbound.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does the blizzard do? Is that the one that affects passing?
It affects passes. You can only do quick or
yeah.
short passes. Also, go for it to now 3 pluses.
It's really bad for Ben, really, because it's going to be really hard for him to get anywhere with his attack. So it's quite a bad weather event for him, and it's fine for Dan really, because when is he going to do something? But thankfully, it just clears up.
Yeah, look at that! What a turnaround!
Ben has his
Refs
own
on the
send off.
ball.
I'm not really sure why he went for that foul there, to be honest. But as you can see, what's happening here is Ben is hiding at the back of his side, in a cage, and then Dan just obliterates the front line.
I mean, that's a reasonably smart strategy if you've got a bit more pace than Amazons do. If you have movement 7, you can get away with that. But
I think it's this turn in particular because it's 2 KOs and a stun that I think Ben goes, I have I could try and win conventionally, or I could try an exciting way to win.
Miracle ball, is he?
And
I agree with this. I can see what's happening here. Surely, is Dan going to do something to counteract it?
he does. He hunts those players relentlessly, as you can see, but they just don't really care. I mean, they will go down, but they get up again.
Oh dear.
With the dodge and the sidestep, I found these Amazons a nightmare to actually put down.
That's kind of what the Amazons are. They just are too.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to playing.
Stay there. Yeah.
She got punched directly in the lady garden.
Like most women, they are hard to get down. Couldn't resist that one.
Yeah, so Ben just kind of keeps crawling forward as he just protects the ball, and particularly the Hail Mary passer.
Yeah, we can get a Hail Mary pass on the diving catch, then what do you do? We've got ourselves a wind condition there. Well, draw condition. Okay, here we go. I can see it's gonna try and happen here.
I mean, I feel like Ben failed a lot of dodges, but he could do the 50% pretty well.
Yeah, that's okay. And here we go, Hail Mary attempt.
Yes, it's beautiful. It was very difficult to capture.
Yes. Oh no!
Oh, fumble. Yes,
No.
yes. It was a completely direct, beautiful Hail Mary that falls to 2 of his players, and that's it. That's the game basically. A real tragedy.
Oh, that is unlucky. He built that up.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, it failed. It was like a re-rolled catch, and it needed a 4+, and he just didn't do it. So we just skip ahead basically right to the end because Dan just walks up the pitch.
Yeah, dwarves doing dwarf things. Tackle side.
There is anything to highlight bar more stuns.
Oh, that's
And
okay.
Yeah, to be fair, Ben comes pretty unscathed. He takes 1 injury the whole game.
Not a bad return against these guys.
No, so I don't think he's displeased, particularly at this moment.
He's like, ha 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 ha.
Well, at least it's both sides.
A slightly Pyrrhic victory there, if you want to say.
Really, it should have been a kind of a 2-1, to be honest.
Yeah.
But yeah,
2-1's
I mean that Hail Mary catch was exciting and depressing.
2-1's a much more funner result for that. Oh well, just standard chore stuff. 60% ball possession, most of it in the opponent's half, and if that's the case, you're gonna win games.
But look at those. I mean, Dan breaks his armor so much. Only 1 injury though.
Yeah, that is slightly unfortunate, but let's think. 10 or higher would be an injury normally. So 1 in 6 should be an injury. So we should see 2, maybe two or 3 of them on there. So it's not too far down. As we
Yeah.
used to say, that would be within margin of error.
How much mighty blow has he got on that team as well?
A
A
lot.
fair amount.
But yeah, and we look at the Bellbusters, we can see what level ups they've got. Nothing much.
There's the 3 niggling player.
Yeah, I pointed out during the match because I was watching the game during watching parts of the game during it was going to happen during it was happening. I've also got I'm not going to try and pronounce that. Head Snapper also gets the 6. Where did she get 6 from? How on earth did she get 6 SPP?
MVP and a pass?
Oh
Yeah.
I missed that.
Yeah, I missed out a vanity pass as well. Ben passes like 3 times in that game.
It's a bit brave passing with Amazons, especially against a team with sure feet, sprint, and strength 4.
AG3.
Well, his whole play was one giant pass. So.
Yeah. Alright, looking at the IDF, have we got any SPP? We've got 3 on Get a Foul Finder for his touchdown, which is a level up. And we've got Smarks Little Green, the dirty player. Well, we don't want to see a dirty player get to level 2. That's never good.
Well, that's only if he rolls doubles, right? Though they don't get access to Agi, right?
I believe they do get us. It's a sneaky get. I believe they do
Oh.
get access doubles. Yeah. The Bellbusters first. We can see that Skylar Head Crusher has not been sacked just yet.
That is the 3 niggling player, right?
That is
Isn't that the point now where it's a probable injury on an armor break?
There's no. I'm surprised you
That's
Ben even
plus,
kept
isn't it?
her after 1. To be
50%
honest.
chance of a niggle if the armor is broken. So 50% chance of injury if the armor is broken. We're at that level.
With 7 armor, probably not worth keeping.
No, I wouldn't keep that. Got Hand Snapper getting
Movement up, which is pretty damn good. That's a
useful,
catcher.
yeah.
Not
Yeah.
his. Well, actually, it is his better catcher. His other one is just for the meme play.
Yeah, I think the second one, the first one is needed because of Hail Mary pass. The second one is like, that's a good catcher. I think this team can have 2 more catchers, so may as well sack Skylar, get a new catcher in.
Got the cash to do something now, hasn't he?
Yeah. Looking
Still,
at
I think he'd probably be quite happy to have gotten away with not many players dying.
No.
Just
With
one
the only
injury on
being
a.
the one that's already injured and probably going anyway. That's not a
Yeah,
bad result.
so for him,
these guys.
it doesn't really make a difference. And Dan needed to win that game to stand a chance to actually.
looking at Dan's team, Smucks Little Green and Brett Foulfinder are the 2 players that we need to look at. Well, maybe they can't get access to dodge on a single because he hasn't gone and taken dodge. Instead, he's taken fend on Brett Foulfinder. When dodge would
That's fine. Fend is great.
Fend is great, but dodge keeps your players standing.
That's true. Yeah, I don't think they do get access to Agi.
Clearly not. What else was out? Because he's had 3.
But why
He's had
give
3
him?
normal skills, so that puts him on 4 normal skills. Oh yeah, it's definitely double for dodge.
Why give him a movement? I don't really understand the point in that. To be
I
honest.
think it's a stupid choice, or I thought it was a stupid choice when Barry did it on his fouling piece on a zombie. But the idea is it's the most highly maneuverable fouling piece.
Yeah, but I don't know. I think you'd prefer just to have block to make sure that they don't go down as easy or whatever, as opposed to being able to foul from one space further away.
I guess it's thinking what you're going to do with them when you're not fouling. They're not going to foul every turn, so I guess that it means they could be useful for getting into assist positions or whatever else it is you're going to use them for.
Yeah,
I
I don't think he's going to struggle to get assists though.
Well, no, and does he need?
Yeah, not with like a million guards.
I mean, we'll see what happens with Smucks. But he has notably got more cash, so he's got a new player. Hajami Fastbash.
You always need more hobgoblins.
More hobgoblins. I wonder which member of the Israeli parliament he is, since we've got Benjamin Netanyahu up the top. Anyway, let's jump on to the next game. Right then. I'm in that one menu. There we are. And she goes up. Yep, cool. No Shiro versus the 1%ers. Well,
Me.
you can tell us about your game if you like.
I don't really remember, to be honest.
Yeah, I do. It was. Well, this is quite an important game for Leon because he was in 4th place at the start of this, or was it 5th place? So he needs to win all games now to the run-in to keep himself a chance, and he has dropped off recently.
Yes, he had an outstanding start to the season. He sort of dropped down a little bit the last few weeks, hasn't he?
Oh, Robo Musk.
You sound sad to look at all your players getting injured and stunned again.
I think actually I was very fortunate with injury dice in this game. I think that was my only injury, or close to it. I don't think I took many.
Spoilers, you actually won the game, so...
Well, I'm somewhat aware.
Yes, really? I won the game? I can't remember. But yeah, I get what he's doing here. He's trying to get tentacles onto the ball. And it's because that would be very annoying getting tentacles on the ball. Unfortunately, he snakes a GFO.
Yeah, I think that gave me the opportunity, wasn't it, just to run forward?
Yeah, it's like,
Get out of there quick.
just score. You might be able to.
Yeah, there was no opportunity to stall. I think I thought about it at the time.
You might be
shouldn't
able
have
to,
been
but
that
I didn't
close.
really look at it too much. Get the ref. Notably, this is the stadium where both teams receive a bribe, so now you've both got 2 bribes.
Oh yeah, now it's all coming back to me. I remember what happened.
Leon is fighting back, trying to push up the field on the left-hand side. A sensible choice, but considering less fend on that side. Gets the ball up the field a bit. You're fighting back. Slow it down. Beast with that woman is dead, but don't worry, he regenerates. And you know he's going to regenerate because you can see the symbol that pops up above their head, and if it doesn't pop up above their head, it means they haven't actually...
It also doesn't play the animation.
It sometimes plays the animation, but no, I don't think it does most of the time. It depends. Sometimes it depends. Sometimes it does. I don't know why. It depends on what type of animation it's got. You know, all animations, some animations, you know. And you knowing that you've got a bribe, start fouling, like
2 actually, yeah.
Yeah, 2, but yeah.
Well, every turn then.
Yeah, definitely foul every turn. And just get that ball as far away as you can. But they ain't gonna stop the Bretts. Notably, you do have a wizard as well if you really want to use it.
I wasn't in any danger. No, I was. I thought about using it quite a lot, but I also could just get there.
To be fair, if you didn't knock him down, I suspect you might have zapped the piece.
Yeah, basically. I think he had to do quite a lot of dodging to get there. At the end,
to the second half, we've got a Rotter fouling a peasant. Why does anyone care? Because he burnt through both his bribes just to get keep that Rotter on the pitch.
God.
That's a really important Rotter, it seems.
It was just a little peasant as well. Point is a peasant.
Doing his job. Kicking the trash to the dirt. You're one, except it's the first bribe though, so it's fine.
It did make me slightly more...
Cautious.
Yeah.
Well, no, the peasant's job is to foul. It's like your
If you take
job.
anything
Yeah,
off,
I meant because before I was fouling with blitzers, knowing that I had 2.
Yeah, Dauntless on strength 4 because you need Dauntless against that Rotter. Let's injure strength 4 Rotter. What's gonna happen? -1 armor value. Woohoo! Tough choices ahead.
Yeah, I think that's a firing, isn't it?
It might be. I'm not sure.
This just means it's got to take him down on a hit with a glass cannon.
It's a Rotter with... They have decay, so...
Decent fireball. And let's just try for the serve, but keep failing. They need to get the ball on the ground, and it's just a bit higgledy-piggledy because you've got everyone around the ball, but there is a goat down there. And more failed go for it. I do like how you eventually get the ball out. But I don't think that's just yet.
Well, this became a mess.
Yeah, that is a crowded space, isn't it?
One dice chain push there. You try for it. You just.
I tried it. It was a skull. Two skulls.
Tackle, bouncing onto the ball and into a gap. Skull into stumble. Let's push the ball again.
Yeah, I was at this point. I was just going. He's after chaos.
Honestly, I think your player's a better position for that ball bounce anyway. And then just push him out of the way. I like that reroll. And just pick the ball up. And run, Forrest, run.
Clear space, yeah.
Unfortunately, it was Mark Zuckerberg who was in a position to do it.
I said Forrest. Run, Forrest, Mark Zuckerberg. Ugh. Oh well, that was a reason. That was an acceptable use of Mark Zuckerberg.
Well, he was the only one
Really?
near enough.
That looked like an absolute scrum for most of that match.
It was quite the rugby game. Not many stats being shown here. That's interesting. Probably because of not many. There's no.
A lot happened. No KOs, no serves, no
no stuns, notably.
No stuns, wow.
If your armor is broken, I'm sorry, it
You're
doesn't
right.
notify the stuns. It's just notice straight casualties.
Yeah, it was. I don't think there were many. Really, I got quite lucky too. Well, to be fair, there's only one armor break in it in the end, but I think my armor held up a lot better.
Yeah. You've got to remember though, when it comes to these 53 blocks, it's a lie because Fend blocks are doubled.
Oh, there's an error in the counting, is there?
Yeah, it counts Fend blocks. If you choose to use Fend, it blocks twice.
Okay. But even so, that's still showing double, and they're not all. Not all fends, are they?
Yeah, he's still got to get more punches against you, but not as much as you think. Ball possession, 43 to 31. That's quite even considering. That's only a turn on the ground. Or turn less. Yeah, turn less than what he has. Even running yards, but of course you managed to steal the ball, which is all important. Luxury rope got a level up for importance of being earnest. That's going to be interesting to have a look. Hard times getting the movement down. Well, sorry, the armor down. That's a tough decision, isn't it?
I think that's a firing. If they have decay, 7 armor.
Strength 4 though.
The strength 4, I'd keep it until that. When the decay, when the next hit comes in, and it does inevitably have 4 or 5 niggling injuries, then it goes. But as it stands, I'd keep it.
Listen, there's like 90k for that piece though, so.
Okay. Yeah.
Let's look at the 1%ers. We can see we got a level up for the Polish tomato picker. If that's not dirty player, I'm disappointed. Just so you know.
It is. Don't worry.
Okay, just getting that in hand. Luckily, the thing's working this time. We can actually see that Pride and Prejudice. What we got. Important to being earnest has not leveled up yet, and he hasn't sacked hard times yet. And he has not chosen the level up yet. That's why.
Oh right, okay.
So
clearly, it's Leon. Leon not choosing his level up has broken the entire system.
That's a good way to blame it on someone else.
Yeah.
I'm with it.
Very neat.
Well, to be fair, it's not my fault anyway. But yeah, look at the 1%ers or $sign. The 1%ers $sign.
Yeah, I wish I didn't have the $sign.
Name already taken, was it?
Yeah, I tried like 10 different variations of it, and eventually I was just like, I'm just going to shove some weird symbol.
The 1%ers, but with a $sign at the end. We got Post Target Picker gets Dirty Player because completely sensible choice. Good lad.
Yeah, it was that or kick. It was one of the two.
Kick, but not on the first one because you kind of want your day players first.
But I'm still having the issue of in that game I didn't really choose Mark Zuckerberg as the person that scored, but I don't have any level ups on my poor little blockers. I mean, they do have a tendency to die, which is
Yeah,
part of the reason. But
I mean, I will always say one of your blockers needs to get blocked, but the first two need to get guards. So you need to get one
I'm
more
not gonna
guard.
wait. Give one block. That's madness. They already have wrestle.
So the idea is you turn him into a killer. Because they're your pieces that have access to strength skills. So the idea is you turn one into.
Just ignore the fact he's got wrestle and start over.
Yeah, you can. I mean, you can occasionally use wrestle for a piece. Wrestle might have its uses on that piece anyway.
Yeah.
I think the next one I'll be turning them into is a strip ball person.
Yeah, sensible choice as well. But yeah, you don't want a forward guard. You don't want 4 wrestle guards. You want maybe 2 wrestle guards, and then see what else you can do.
Well, I might put a bit of stand firm in there too.
Oh yeah. But let's see what happens. Right then. Let's go back to the main page, and we've got the last game of the week.
I think that's all of the matches done now, isn't it?
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. I discovered this result when I was doing the commentary, and I was rather surprised because you'd been cleaving your way through most people, and I didn't expect anything to come in your way really. But I guess the Saurus Warriors got to you.
Yeah, he did well. He's got some levels on there, got some skills, and yeah. It's all,
Just because Willem loses most of his games doesn't mean he can't pull out a good result.
No, he played very, very well.
He does know how to lizard. Let's go with that. I did like that.
I think I played.
Rolled strength into death. Like death.
These two teams played each other in the Neophyte League last season, and obviously with being a much lower team value, it was a very different balance. Things have really changed since.
Yeah, this team. I played it twice with my humans, and even from then, their play style has evolved quite a bit.
You haven't started the thing or anything because we're currently on stream paused.
I have actually started it.
Okay,
That's
we
awkward.
got it now.
You can see it now, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh dear. Oops.
Yeah, I mean, there's a big mixture of between 7 or 8 strength 4 players plus guard. I found it really hard to.
Even with the Dauntless.
Yeah, the Dauntless was useful, but even so, I just found it hard to get into. Well, actually, no, I tell a lie. The first half, and this is kind of went wrong. The first half, it did start to snowball, and I got good control of the pitch, and it made me a bit complacent about the Bash game.
Yeah, I think Willem's second half performance was quite amazing, as we'll see when we come to it. I'm trying my best to be neutral, but I kind of can't support a team that doesn't have named players. I know you got your reasons why you didn't actually have named players, but I can never support it.
No, fair enough. As soon as I have to buy new players, I'll name them, but it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah, I want to say Death Roll though. That's the other way of getting.
Oh, the Death Roll is the one big guy I can't support. It's just not.
Why can't you support the Death Roll?
I just don't. It's just not. It's not. I mean, it's exciting, but I don't like that it's a secret weapon. To be honest.
I made a mistake here and lost track. I thought he only had 1 turn, but I gave him 2 turns, which was a clear mistake. I should have stalled for 1 more. I lost track of how many were left.
Has he given?
And he took advantage of it very, very well.
Yeah, I mean, mostly we had another kick that got caught. Kick that gets caught on the line.
Yeah, it was a high kick, and it put him in a prime position.
And then
Oh my!
just
There we go,
out of range.
Yeah, I mean, didn't appreciate just how quick those skinks had got.
Well, at least the God Skink has the 4 edgy, doesn't it?
I mean, Liam last week was complaining that the game between me and Willem was boring, but I just know what skink I like. I'm not gonna risk Willem pulling off some skink BS.
Yeah, no, it was very, very well done.
So you just punched them to death.
Well, I did in the first half, and as I say, it got me a bit complacent because I had good control of the pitch, but it just didn't come in the second half. His line held up really, really well, and then the Skinks just did what Skinks do, and they were far too fast to me, basically.
It's somewhat surprising because I think oh, well, that was fortunate that it procced Ultus the second time. To be fair, wait, is that a star player?
Yes.
Yeah.
Saurus.
Silly Billy, otherwise known as Sibley.
Oh,
Just gets the ball
I was
off.
about to say that Willem was down a couple. I think down a Saurus warrior or two. I don't
He was
think he has
down
that
one,
many.
but he replaced him with the star player.
This is the closest that you end up getting to score in this half, right? Getting the ball back in a decent position. That is the closest he gets to it.
Oh no.
Yeah, there's a lot between those Skinks. There's a lot of sidestep. There's a diving tackle in there I missed as well, which caused me a
People have
headache.
failed going for it.
You're not the only one that's missed it before.
A lot have failed going for it. It just forced me to push myself just with the speed, and then just use the Skinks to stall very well.
Diving tackle, that was a 6+, so you're never getting that ball.
I just completely missed that was there.
Yeah, well, that is Willem's grand plan, isn't it? Forgive. It's quite hard to remember that diving tackle is there, though.
It is.
Sometimes you do just forget.
Silly Billy gets down there, instantly gets injured. It's like, this is not the place for big guys down here. So do you have it on auto dodge, Andy?
No.
So
no, I just missed.
You chose
I should have taken
the player up and then get served.
Yeah, I missed that. I should have taken the hit.
I assumed it was just an auto dodge, but eventually he has to score. I'll cut out another turn, maybe even 2 turns of Willem making it impossible for you to score while you
it's just
more dwarfs down.
Well, that's a really good play for him. From him.
Yeah, really well done.
Him. Because I think he's had a tendency to be quite basey with those skinks, so it's good to see him use them in their proper skink ways of just snaking around the back line.
Yeah, it's just Willem has finally figured out how he wants to play his Lizardmen, and he just played them very well.
Yeah, it was a combination of a line that stood up to my bashing and a set of skinks that ran rings around me, and it was just a horrible combination to try and play against.
Other teams that's worked against this season is Dundee and the Amazons, which are the teams you kind of expect him to do well against, the teams that he's competing with. But yeah, it's a big scout for the Lizardmen to make it so the final team that had an undefeated record has no longer an undefeated record.
Yeah, it looked like Willem did really well there at the end, to be honest.
43% possession from Lizardmen, that's pretty good. 43% from Dwarves is slightly low.
Oh, that feels like a lot, 43%.
No, 43% from Dwarves is low.
Yeah. No, I didn't have it in the second half.
Like that is, Dwarves need like 3 turns to score. So that's...
It's horrifying that you have the passes.
Yeah, I was going to say, can we draw attention to my 2 successful passes as well?
Can also draw attention to the fact that you have Edge 4 without stunting. It doesn't count. That's like an elf player pointing out his passes. I don't point out the passes, everyone else points out my passes.
You have an Edge 4 player?
Yeah, one of my runners got an Edge up.
Oh god. I don't remember that. I don't like the sound of that next week.
Frog Stomp, let's have a look at them. Anthony Year 3000 gets the MVP and the death. Good job. Love it when the MVPs do bugger all.
Tragic.
Anything else? No. Silly, nothing else there.
Oh, I completely missed the death.
It was a strength. You did because it was the bit where you couldn't see it. But it was a strength down and he yappoed it into a death.
Oh, well, you might as well take it if it's a strength down anyway.
No, because strength 3 Saurus is worthless.
Exactly, that's what I mean. You just accept the death.
And then we've got level up for you with your runner scoring touchdown. Pro. Don't give us any hints. Don't give us any hints. Andy, what would you go for, Ben? Ben, Adam.
Hello, my name is Ben. I'm not sure what I'd go for. On a runner, what do they have access to? Do they have access to Agi, or is it just throughout passing?
General
passing, yeah.
Fend is good, but then you already have a Fend dude. I Not sure, really. To be
I would
honest,
sack unless you roll a double.
you could give them like.
Actually, no. Leader. Leader will
Oh
save him
yeah,
50k because your rerolls cost 50k, don't they?
but do you really need to re-roll that much as the dwarves?
Well, no, but you can remove a reroll, reducing your TV down by a little bit.
You can remove re-rolls.
Yeah, you can unroster a reroll.
Oh,
Yeah, you
just
know,
give
because
them
it's plus and minus. It doesn't just go, I want another reroll, and another reroll, and another reroll, and another reroll.
I'll only stop when there's 8.
Anyway, let's look at the Frog Stomp first, since they the first team. They were the home team in this game. Anthem of the Year 3000 has not been replaced yet, and that'll probably be replaced. He has got 100k in the kitty.
I feel that is too much diving tackle.
I think that is a sufficient amount of diving tackle.
Perfect amount.
Perfect amount. There's just enough to screw you over. In fact, one more diving tackle and freak probably.
Though, I mean, I think Willem had the dream, didn't he, of having the Croxagon. I think it's 6 Sauruses, isn't it?
Yes.
And it seems that I think that is out of reach now.
Well, not for this season yet. This season, yes, but please, Willem, bring them back next season. Be the
I mean,
team
it's
that
just been
breaks the Lizardman
unfortunate.
curse. We have a curse in this league where the Lizardmen never do well.
It's because the 9 armor is a lie.
They actually are on value 4.
Yeah, it feels like it. I felt my peasant armor has worked way better than when I've had that 9 armor Chaos Warriors.
Yeah. Now let's look at the dwarves. What have we gone for? Kick-off return. Yeah, sensible choice.
I decided a while back the next one to get a level up gets that. Just as
Well, I do think the sacking would have been a better option, to be honest.
But why? Your chance of catching it is not that high, really.
no, it's just to get closer for the pickup.
Right, okay.
Yeah, you kind of want that on a movement 6 player. Because consider I've just gone and got kicked. Let's assume I'm playing Andy in the semi-final. What's going to happen if I use my kick? I kick it deep. Dwarf goes close to the ball, and it's like, great. That kick that I've done is not as effective.
At the same time, that's not the dwarf that you want picking up the ball. I guess you just want it to help guard the kind of area of it.
I mean, it's a free
So
chance.
3 agi isn't bad.
Yeah, 3 agi and sure hands. That one's fairly safe to pick it up.
But then not pass to your agi dude, who I guess you want to
just
actually
handoffs
hold
only.
Right then. Well, that's the last game. Last analysis of the teams. We're going to go look at the schedule for next week. We've got the penultimate week. At the top, we've got Dundee versus Brown Hides.
Be kind.
Be kind.
Give him his first win.
Give him his first win. No. Then we've got an important game, the Ghoulies versus the Claws. That is 4th versus 2nd.
That should be a pretty exciting game.
Hopefully that game
Lots of
gets
people are going to die.
Hopefully lots of Rob's claws.
There's a lot of claw on both sides there.
Boris Johnson might finally kick the bucket.
No, he'll just regen like he usually does. Below we've got the Fun Boys versus the Bellbusters.
I think that's a pretty even game, actually. I think
it's a good chance for Matt to stay in the hunt, but it's not an easy one by any stretch.
I think Ben could do it because we were talking earlier about his lack of tackle.
Yeah,
that is a team of blodge. He's basically faced 2 blodge teams right after each other, so I think he could struggle with the with them.
Then we've got Nogashiro versus the Undercity Vermin. Now this is one of the teams that the Undercity Vermin I thought we're gonna struggle with at the start of the season, considering foul appearance and disturbing presence is going to reduce these 1-turn capabilities.
That's true. That is true, actually. But it does affect like handoffs and stuff, doesn't it?
Yes.
And that team is just looking so depleted at the moment. I think he's gonna struggle.
The team's looked.
I think it's going to have to be a bit of a miracle play, won't it? Or just rely on 1-turns.
Well, you can't count Skaven out, but Leon's more hungry.
Leon's not a high-scoring team though. Those Nurgle teams, so 1 or 2 1-turns, and it could actually be hard work for for the
That
Nurgle
is
to
true.
get the
That
score
game
back.
could easily end up as a draw.
Or even as bad as maybe like 2-1 or even 2-0 to the Vermin. Anyway, below that, IDF versus Frogstomp. He's successfully put the dwarves to the slaughter. Now he's got to do the same with the chorfs.
Yeah, they're a bit quicker than my team. I think Dan could have a chance here.
They've got the bull centaurs to hunt down those
Yeah.
pesky skinks. And I think Dan's ones have
More tackle.
tackle,
Move.
so they should be able to hunt down and just mercilessly devour them.
You also got a niggle, I believe, on one of them, or is it an armor value down? I can't remember. One of those two.
Yeah, I think so. Something like that.
And then final game, bottom of the week. You two facing each other.
I do not look forward to the nightmare of dwarves.
Good fun. Yeah,
I wouldn't.
defend is going to make things difficult for me.
I wouldn't count yourself so unlucky, Adam. I think you've got chances.
Yeah.
I think it depends on how the armor holds up. If my team just sort of turns to putty, then I will go with it. But if the armor breaks, or at least the injury box doesn't fill up too much, then I might be able to outrun.
I think Fend and Wrestle and a couple of serious star players is definitely giving me some thought.
Yeah.
I don't think I have. Too far. I don't think I have enough TV difference to actually get any exciting star players.
You can spend some money if you want to. Anyway, let's have a quick look at the league table before we end it here. Brown hides the. What should we go with this time? I don't know. On top, just below that, we've got the claws and not big, not clever. I have a hot take. One of these two is not going to make it. I don't know which one, but I don't think they're both going to make it.
Really?
Well, do you two end up playing against each other, don't you?
It's first versus fourth, and then second versus third in the playoffs. My opposition are Dundee and the Undercity Vermin. So
No, I meant in the last week. I think
well,
you're playing against each other, aren't you?
No, they've already played. They've
Is
already
it?
played each
Yeah,
other.
we've played. Yeah.
Who was I thinking they play against? I can't really remember.
I've got the Nurgle to finish.
Yeah, that's not.
Oh,
good.
right.
That's not a good match.
Well,
I think that's why
that could still be. Yeah, that might have been what I was thinking of.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. But everyone, even technically, the Vermin and Frogstomp have chances. So I think the Vermin have a chance, but Frogstomp don't, just because of the way the fixtures show up. But we'll see what happens in the final 2 weeks of the season. Nuffle bless your blocking dice. Nuffle bless.
Have a bless. Cheers, guys.